Okay, here we have a graph similar to one I drew in the notes, which you can see a slide or two above in the notes that I have. But the question is, where does this function have a relative maximum or maximums, relative minimum or minimums? Okay, so basically intuitively what to look for on the graph is pretty easy. A maximum, a relative maximum is any point that's sort of at a peak on the graph, and a relative minimum is any point that's sort of at the bottom of a valley. Okay. In the book, what they say, in order for a point to be a relative maximum, essentially it has to be a larger y value than every point immediately to the left or the right. Okay. So I can see on this graph that I have two relative maximums. I have one right here, which is the point, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like -4, comma 3. Okay. This point's a relative maximum because it's a point with the largest y value of anything immediately to the left or right on the graph. Okay, if I move a little bit to the left, I'm moving down. If I move a little bit to the right, I'm moving down. Okay. And of course, there's another one over here, okay, another relative maximum right here at this point. That's the point 5, comma 2. So these 2 points are relative maximums, okay, because they are the largest point on the graph, largest y coordinate, everywhere immediately to the left or the right. Okay. Now again, the word here, the keyword is relative. Okay, this is not the largest y value of any point on the graph, but it is the largest of anything nearby, just to the left and to the right. Okay, so relative minimums. Well, again, same idea. The relative minimum is a point that has the smallest y coordinate of everything immediately to the left or right. So I do have one relative minimum at the point 1, comma -2. Okay. So rel min, or relative minimum. Okay, there are no other relative minimums. If you look at the graph, it does continue to move down to the right and continue to move down far to the left. But none of these points are relative minimums, for example, because if you pick any point on the graph, there's a point a little bit lower you can get to moving to the right, and a point a little bit higher you can get to moving to the left, for instance. And again, keep in mind that these arrows indicate the graph continues to move down, so this isn't the last point on the graph by any means. The graph continues to move down. We're just done drawing it. So graphically, pretty easy to find these things. In this case, we've got 2 relative maximums, 1 relative minimum.